everybody, and welcome to the first time that we have not been in person for the last week.
Yes.
Um, yeah, welcome to our very special episode of Fade to Obsidian, where we are going to recap our experience with HowlerCon Tulsa. Uh,
Yes.
and can I just say, holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um
I'm Crescent, as always, joined by Skipper,
Hello.
and as we are so frequently, joined by Den Primus, Salem.
The
Eight.
sovereign. The sovereign,
Yeah,
as we'll get into.
yeah.
Yes.
Um yeah, I feel like we should just off the cusp, and there will probably be a disclaimer ahead of the time on this, just in case something comes up. We will talk maybe up until Dark Age, just in case like a joke or something comes up, but we'll
Yeah.
still leave Lightbringer out of it. So
Yeah,
feel
and
free.
as with most of the signings, the Red Rising community mostly will not talk about the current book that's been released, so they'll talk up to it. So, who started first? Who had the longer like? I feel like Skipper you started your trip earlier than the rest.
Hang on. Hang
But
on. What's everybody drinking tonight?
Very important. What are you drinking, Crescent? We're drinking the same thing.
Well, yeah, we talked about this beforehand. I am drinking a Crown and Coke because that's what we drank at HowlerCon.
Yes, it is.
And
So
I've got a Fearless Gold waiting and chilling because
me
that is
too.
also what we drank.
Yes.
How about
Yeah,
you, Salem?
we'll get
um,
into it after, but we got really into the crowning cokes.
yeah. I am still trying to hydrate after how hot
Mm,
Tulsa was. So
good call.
I'm literally just drinking liquid IV. So liquid IV sponsor us.
Yes, we need it after that
Real.
Tulsa sun.
Dude.
It's
And then Crescent
vitalize
also
us.
took all my Peerless Gold, so because I was flying.
Mm,
He was
yeah,
driving.
Yeah.
yeah. Nice.
I brought 9 cans across the border rather than 6.
Ooh. I got 4 across the border, but that's all I almost should have
That's
gone
what I
for
needed.
more. Yeah, that's all I needed. But yeah, so we're gonna do with how our week started. So I started my tour, my Lightbringer tour, halfway through Pierce's Lightbringer tour in Toronto. And I'm not going to talk too much about it because I do work for the bookstore and I worked the event, which was very interesting. So my Toronto versus Tulsa experience was two very different things. I was not supposed to work the event. I just didn't want to take a vacation day, and it was my boss's idea of like, just ask if you can work it and then get there, help set up. And they're like, you're really outgoing. How are you with a microphone? And I was like, well, I love microphones. So I got to actually be the one introducing and doing announcements and running the signing line, which was a lot of fun. So it was a much more chill event than at Tulsa, but still so much energy. And it was so fun that I got to be the one who like ramped them up with getting them to do like howls and stuff. And like, that was a lot of fun. And I will say it was so much fun to stand there for 2 hours listening to Pierce interact with each and every person. I have so much behind the scenes. Like, I should have recorded the whole thing because I just am going to forget so much. But everybody's question being so different, and I got to be witness to some of the like people who talked about the life-changing moments, some of the really good questions that people were asking. Some of the Hazard Bedlam people were there. There was the Ragnar doll that won Hazard Bedlam. He signed. And it was just so much fun. And then there was the people who were totally awestruck. And I was taking pictures on everyone's phone and they would like forget to pose for a picture. And Pierce was so lovely every time would be like, do you want a picture? And like prompting. So it was a lot of fun. It was really great. But yeah, so that was my Monday. And then no, you still weren't on the road. You left Tuesday, correct?
Yeah, I didn't leave till Tuesday.
Yeah. So then
Well, I left
Tuesday.
home on
Yeah,
Saturday.
you were camping. Yeah. So then my Tuesday morning, actually, I was leaving the event. I was the one who walked Pierce out with his security guards. And I said, um, okay, see you tomorrow night. And he's like, are you coming to Chicago? I was like, yeah. And then I'll see you in Tulsa. And he went, oh, the security guards are for you. It's like, yes. Yes, they are. See you tomorrow night. So then I 6 a.m. left for Chicago the next night. And yeah, you would have gotten on the road at like a few
Yeah, I
hours
left
after
about
that,
1 o'clock in the afternoon.
which is 3 o'clock my time.
Yeah. Yeah, so you were like almost in Chicago by that point, weren't you? How
I
long is
was
that drive?
just hitting, yeah. So I got to Chicago 3:30 my time. I took a mini break. I stress about crossing the border that it's going to be too long of a wait. I don't stress about actually talking to them, but that it's going to be like a 2 hour wait. So I gunned it, like got to the border super early, and then was like so tired that I took an hour nap in a rest stop in Michigan, just in the back of my car. Yeah, that was so it was amusing, but yeah. How was your border crossing? What did you tell the border guard? That's the
Uh,
question.
so I tried to say book signing and like meeting up with friends, and I'm going mountain biking, and he's like, "Well, what kind of book signing?" I'm like, "What? What do you mean? What kind of book signing?"
Mm,
And so I was like, "All right, you had told me Comic Con gets you through, no questions asked." So I was like,
yep.
"Well, it's like a Comic Con." And he's like, "Oh, okay. So like you're going to get like a comic book signed type thing." I'm like, "Yes,
Yes.
exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. The
you
secret
bet."
to everything is Comic Con. They stop questioning when you say Comic Con.
Yeah, their eyes kind of glaze over, and they're
Yeah,
like,
they're
"Oh,
like,
you're one of
that's like a
those people."
thing. Sure. Yeah, mine asked, "Why are you going?" And I said, "For an like for a book event or something." And she just went, "Who's the author?" And I was like, "Pierce Brown." And what does he write? And I was like, oh, "Red Rising." It's like science fiction. So then I was like pitching Red Rising to my border security person, and she's like, "All right, have fun." Like, I was
Yeah,
like, okay.
like
Uh,
please leave me alone.
yeah, yeah. You just nerd out, and they just go,
Mhm.
"Okay, you're not gonna make this up." I think I also have easier border crossing because the back of my car is plastered in bumper stickers that say things like "I speak fluent Tolkien" and "I search closets from Narnia." So I'm sure while I drive over the border, they're like, "Oh, she's legitimate. She's not
Yeah,
making this up." Um, but yeah,
yeah. Well, I'm like they didn't really quiz me very hard.
no,
Like, you got any drugs or alcohol? No,
no,
because I wanted an easy border crossing. Thank you very much.
that's the key. Yeah.
And yeah, I and like honestly, I probably could have sat there for 2 hours. I bet you I wouldn't have seen another person. There was
We're
like this border crossing. It's called Willow Creek,
yeah.
and it's right south of Cypress Hills, Saskatchewan, and I think the state side is Havre, Montana,
Okay.
and
So
it's one lane. I think there was a commercial lane on the outside,
yeah.
but it's one lane. This small little building. One guy standing at my driver's window. One guy walks around the truck, grabs my license plate. You
Oh
know,
my. Oh my God.
45 seconds of
So not
questions, and
even
I
cameras or
on the
anything,
way.
just
Oh, there was
all
like,
manual.
yeah, like it was a pretty, like it was a new building, but like the guy read my license plate off to the guy that was standing at the booth.
Yep. That
Didn't
sounds like
you?
Montana.
Didn't you tell me it
Yeah,
closes at
yeah,
5 p.m. As well?
yeah, yeah. So that one was 9 to 5 crossing.
Wow.
Oh.
When I came home, I went through Portal, North Dakota, and that one's 24 hour, not much
Oh.
bigger. Um,
Oh
but
my
that one
God.
had like real size buildings that were separate from the actual border crossing.
My
Yeah,
yeah, in comparison to I was Sarnia on the Canadian side and Port Huron, Michigan in the US. And it's like 8, 9 lanes. All you're fighting with the transport trucks to get over. Like, very, yeah. You'll wait a while, which is why I cross early and then don't worry about it. That's so funny. And then my way back was Detroit. Do not cross the Detroit tunnel on a holiday Monday. I have never been. I'm not a stressed out driver. I'm a very comfortable driver, and oh my God, I freaked out halfway through just trying to get through the traffic, not even the border, because it was a mess. And then it's a tunnel that you have to go under the Detroit River into
Oh wow.
Windsor. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
see,
mess.
coming home for me, it was the day after the holiday Monday.
Oh,
I
so you're
waited
smarter.
behind one person for like 4 minutes.
Oh my God.
So the
Oh my
secret to
God.
getting into Canada is crossing Saskatchewan.
Yeah, not Detroit. I got
Yeah,
actually my crossover in Detroit when they asked where I was and I said book signing. He said, "Were you signing the books or was somebody else?" And I was like,
I've gotten
somebody
that question
else was
several times.
booking, signing the books. And he was like, okay, so you were a fan. You were there for fun. And I was like, yes, which I guess because I didn't say like, usually they say like work or leisure. And I was like, a
Yeah,
book signing. And he's like, who was signing? Like, it was pretty funny. I was
yeah,
like, oh, yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
yeah. Not I.
Not I. Uh,
Yeah,
but yeah,
I've had several people ask me that too.
were you signing the books?
Yeah.
We were signing books at one point.
Actually,
Each
yeah,
other's.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were.
And everybody else's.
Yeah.
Um,
Nobody signed. I think you guys in bold are the only ones who signed mine. I
Only
gave
yeah,
a
up.
actually,
handful.
you and I think had the same deal. We were sitting in the chairs at HowlerCon, and we're like, "Oh, sign my book, sign my book, sign my book," and then all of a sudden it was just like, "All right, things are happening. Fuck it, we'll do it later." And then
Yeah,
we
And
we're
it
like
didn't.
at the
never
pool
happened.
party and then we just didn't. So there's like I
Yeah,
swear it's like you guys in bold.
yeah. I think
Yeah.
I've got Skipper, Merlot, Bold, and Slink.
Yeah, I don't even have Salem. Yeah. Crescent, Slink, Merlot,
Wow.
Bold.
Yeah.
Wow.
Good work,
Hey,
team.
Doing my
you
job.
were one row away from us.
Yeah.
Like, what do
And
you?
We gave up real fast on that.
Yeah, yeah. It was like instant.
okay, Crescent, you want to
Um,
tell us about the rest of your trip?
Yeah.
wow.
I feel
Yeah.
like you had the most interesting portion of the
Well,
trip.
okay, so like maybe the most interesting, but also the dullest.
Yes.
Uh, almost hit a deer in Montana.
Oh my
Before
God,
I
you didn't tell me that.
before yeah, I pulled out to pass somebody and like just like it was kind of a slight curve on the road, and I pulled out and in the shoulder that I couldn't see until I pulled out was this not small deer.
Oh
I'm
my
like, don't
God.
you fucking move. And it was like, so I pulled into this tiny little shithole gas station, um, somewhere in Montana, and they only had premium. I'm like, what the fuck? What? Like, why is premium the one that you
Yeah.
have? Like, why would you not have regular? Um, and so I ended up having to drive another like 7 miles, like out of my way to go to Roy, Montana, where I think there was 12 people total in the whole town. Um, I had to I had to take my total from the gas pump inside. Like I had to tell the guy at the till how much gas I had gotten.
That's
That
a trust system. Like,
yeah.
hmm
And I told him the right number too. Like
oh,
I could
look,
have gotten
of
more than that.
course you did. You're a
Yeah.
good, upstanding
Real
citizen.
Canadian.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the deer wasn't there on my way back to the main highway. But yeah, so that was like I don't know, 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening. Uh, I, I stopped a couple times just to, go to the bathroom, but
Yeah.
I didn't actually stop until I hit Ogallala, Nebraska, where I
Where?
slept for exactly the town that was on my road, the next town that had a Holiday Inn, and it was full.
Oh.
BFE, Nebraska, on a Wednesday. No, Tuesday. I guess it was a Tuesday night.
Mhm.
Um, I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, and I had passed a Holiday Inn. I think it was 2 hours before that, and they were full too. And that was like, kind of right by the Wyoming, uh, Nebraska state line.
It's because there's no other hotels in those states. Everybody
Probably
is
was
in the
not.
like
same
seven.
hotel.
There was like 7 hotels in like a 10 block span. I was blown away. So I was like,
Hmm.
all right, there's a Walmart right next to this
Oh
Holiday
my
Inn. So
God.
I pulled in there, leaned my driver's seat back, slept for 2 hours, on to Tulsa.
Wow.
So for everybody else that didn't have this experience, I texted Skipper. Uh, I was about an hour out from Tulsa. I was like, hey, like when are you getting into Tulsa? And she goes, well, I'll be about 25 minutes.
Yeah.
How long until you get there? Oh, about 52 minutes.
I was like, the fuck? The math
What?
did not work.
So I'm sure some of you saw our Instagram story where Skipper asked to be updated
Hmm.
when, somebody found out that I was alive. And Summit Everest,
We love her.
uh, yeah, sent a message to the Fade to Obsidian Instagram telling us that, or telling Skipper that I was alive. And I read it. And
So
apparently
I
that
never got
takes
the
away the
notification.
notification for Skipper. So Skipper found out I was alive basically as I got to Tulsa.
Yeah.
Um, I also posted a story just as I was leaving
Yeah.
that Walmart.
But I
Um,
didn't see that because
yeah, because she
I was
doesn't have
already
post
on the road, I
notifications turned
think.
on.
No.
Yeah.
I was also driving. Why are
Well,
you
yeah, don't
Instagram and
just go and
driving?
drive.
Yeah.
I wasn't. I was parked
Yeah. Well,
in the
previous to
Walmart parking lot.
getting to Tulsa, I ended up in Chicago and did that signing, which was, I would say, a very traditional signing of I got to be a fan, got to hang out, sit in the audience, make friends. We found Twist's husband just by yelling. That was great. Drew the
Nice.
husband. Noelle is just loud enough that she was like, "Where is Drew the husband?" And that was fun because then by the time I got up to see Pierce, he obviously had stood next to me for 2 hours the previous night. So I got a big hug and he, we were talking about how the book I got signed in Chicago was actually for Epiphany for the giveaway in the Howler's Den. And so I told Pierce, like, this one's going to New Zealand.
New Zealand.
And the night before, I had one signed for Draken, which went to Germany. And so I was telling Pierce that, and he's like, "Who's paying for the postage?" And I was like, "Salem." And he's like, "Oh, she finished the book last night." And I was like, "I know, I got those messages." So he was very up to date on what Salem was doing. It was pretty funny. But yeah, Chicago is pretty low key as well, which, like, normally I would be like, these are very. Pierce's signings are usually much more energy than most, and I felt that until I got to Tulsa, and then that was a mess. But
Whole other
Totally
level.
different.
yeah,
Yes.
but yeah, and then I left 7 a.m. I left Chicago and got to Tulsa directly to the airport, so I could pick people up at the airport, um,
Yeah.
and then to our hotel, which we all then. Someone got the message that we had to go for dumplings. And we had a group of us go.
Yeah, there was like 10 of us that went that night.
Yeah.
Um, and we got to meet the chef that was doing the Hazard Bedlam dinner.
I'm so
Yes,
jealous.
Sam.
Ahead of the dinner.
Ahead of
Like,
the dinner.
part of me wishes that I didn't have a later flight and that I had picked an earlier flight so that I could have enjoyed the dumplings, but I also didn't mind sleeping in.
Yeah, the dumplings were delicious, but he
Yeah,
also
they were
let us
fantastic.
try the dessert that he then served at the Hazard Bedlam dinner, the special dinner.
Yeah.
So we had
It was possibly the best thing I've ever put in my
Oh my
mouth.
God, it was amazing.
It was like, so it was like this. It's like cream custard base. Uh,
Yeah.
then it was layered with honey, and then sprinkled with black sea salt,
Yeah.
and it was so good.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. The dumplings were good. The whole place was amazing, but that dessert was amazing. And actually, we will be having Sam on the episode after this one, so he's gonna
Yeah.
record with us and
Unless we
explain
decide that
to
it's going to
us.
be a Patreon exclusive.
Oh, we could do that. All
We
right,
do
we'll
that.
discuss.
So
So if you
Also,
don't see this
we
next
have
week,
we
it'll
have
be yes,
Patreon. Go check it out. It's patreon.com/Fade to Obsidian.
yes. And if you
Um,
sign up for the
for
postcard
it's
level for
very
this
cheap.
week, you will get a Tulsa postcard, which I'll let you guys explain
Yeah.
later where you got those.
The whole week felt like a fever dream.
Oh my
That
God.
And then
felt like the
that.
most fever dream.
But yeah, so yeah, Sam was fantastic. And the weirdest thing about Tulsa, it was a ghost town. Like it just felt like it was
Yeah,
the
like there was
10 of us
nobody
There was no
there.
people.
and nobody. Like we
I mean,
were the
granted,
party.
it was 41 degrees Celsius or like 107, 109
Yeah.
Fahrenheit or something.
Every
was
Like
single
I
day.
totally don't blame people staying inside.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I mean, it was also the middle of the week, and we were in the downtown core.
Yeah.
There's no
Yeah.
shade
Like-
in Tulsa.
There's no shade
Yeah.
in Tulsa. We
Yeah, there's
found
no
that out
therapy
real
in space, and there's no shade in Tulsa.
Yeah.
T-shirt coming soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was, but yeah, a lot of fun. And so that night we just, well, poor Salem, I was supposed to pick her up at the airport, and Dram was like, "No, you're not," and just got me
Yeah,
drunk
you're
instead.
drinking now.
Yeah. And then Dram decided, like, okay, so I got to, my flight was totally fine. I had probably the best experience that I could have had flying. And then on my connecting flight from Dallas Fort Worth to Tulsa, I actually was on the same plane as Summit, Everest, and Voyager. And so we legit
nice.
all like met up in the at our gate and just chatted for a little while. We were actually like all kind of like kitty corner from each other. I got 2 windows and Summit got no windows.
Oh,
I don't know how that worked. And then I actually met a howler in front of me. They legit turned around. They're like, "Are you Salem?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then
You're legit
they're
now.
like, "Oh, I have something for you." And then they gave me it's somewhere over there. But they gave me a like one of those traditional like rubber band bracelets that said HowlerCon 2023. So that was pretty cool. And I gave them a sticker. So
Yeah.
I brought a bunch of stuff to give out to people. I think I got rid of all of my worthy stickers. I gave worthy stickers to everybody at HowlerCon.
Yeah, I've got, well, I've got a pile of stickers sitting here that yeah, there's my Howler's Den. One. Yeah, because you gave us all this, like Pegasus Legion to like hand out, and I was like, or these are mine now. Mainly because I got too drunk to give things out. Yeah.
Yeah, I gave you guys the big ones because I promised you those like forever ago, and then I was like, "Oh, we're all going to Tulsa. I'll just give them to you." So.
Yeah, I got so much by the morning. I was like the after. Well, not even like Wednesday, not Wednesday, Thursday morning. We were getting them from. Who was handing out the? Athena was giving out the marked safe, marked safe at HowlerCon.
If
you got it on your water bottle.
Marked safe from HowlerCon 23. Yeah.
So good. I'm gonna put mine on my book. I decided.
Oh, that's a good idea.
But yeah, and then I ended up with the Calvin Boys sticker. I think I got one of their bracelets.
Yeah.
I got Words and
one of their
Whiskey Pod. I've got
there was
like,
so much stuff there.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I got off the plane at like midnight, and then literally I walked outside to go meet this Uber that Dram got for me. She was like, "Oh, just use my normie name and just say that you're me." And I was like, "Okay, fine, whatever." And I stepped outside, and it was like 12:30 at night, and I stepped outside, and then I was instantly dripping with sweat.
It was disgusting.
It was so hot and so muggy. It was disgusting. And I mean, that's not normal for Tulsa, but it was also just like, okay, well, this is, I guess, what I signed up for.
Yeah. Yeah, it was so
So,
gross.
Yeah,
yeah.
the first thing I did when I got to my hotel was set the air conditioning down to 60 degrees.
So smart. So
Yep.
smart.
Yeah.
But yeah, then Salem showed up. We had a mini, almost slumber party, it felt like. The two of us,
Yeah.
Hydro and Dram, were just hanging out. It
Then
was funny.
Skipper went in the like haunted elevator.
Oh, I never heard about this.
I was like, what haunted elevator? So we meet her in the lobby. We meet her in the lobby and we're waiting to go up. And there's an elevator just sitting open.
No lights
like
on.
just, and we've hit the button and like we're waiting for the other elevators to call. And I was like, I'm gonna just go in. So I just walk in the elevator,
As
hit
soon
the
as she
floor
goes in, the
rush.
doors close. Like,
and you can just I'm like and I can just like
And
I
that's
just
how
turn
Skipper
around
got
and
to HowlerCon.
that's exactly what it was. All three of us just screamed, and then
Listen.
like you could hear the security guard like walk around the corner. We're like, okay.
yeah, I was like, well, this is it. Like, I'm good. It was my probably first not safe decision of the week, but it was fine. I made it to the floor and then was awkwardly waiting on the floor as I'm like, where are they? Because they had to wait for another elevator.
For a different one.
I had totally forgotten about that. That I was just like, this elevator's open. Let's see what happens. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so that was Wednesday. And then
And then
Thursday.
I slept like not at all.
No, you were up so
Me and
early.
Hydro both. Yeah. Me and
Yeah.
Hydro and Summit all woke up at like 5:00 in the morning, which me and Hydro are West Coast time. So really that was 3:00 in the morning, our time. It's like, I don't even know why I'm awake.
Yeah.
Because you're excited.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you ended up, I think I probably slept the longest of everybody.
You slept
but
till like 9.
yeah, because you went.
I bet you didn't.
Oh, did you sleep? Like, I woke up and Salem was sitting there and she's like, I'm going to go hang out with Enigma. And I was like, cool, I'm going back to bed, and just like rolled over.
As I'm sitting there, I had already gotten breakfast and my coffee. I literally had gone down and gotten food. And I was like, I need to eat and drink coffee. Otherwise, I'm going to die.
Yeah.
So after we went and got dumplings, we went back to your hotel room and we had a couple
you left
drinks,
early.
and I was like, no, I am done.
Mm-hmm.
This is me on 2 hours of sleep across 48 hours.
Yeah.
I'm finished. So I left. I went back to my hotel. I got back to the hotel at like 10:30.
Yeah.
I barely made breakfast at 9. No, 10. I think I went down for breakfast at like 9:30. I met Alcatraz and two of her friends that I don't like. They might be in the den, but they're not like in the den.
Yeah.
Actively. So we had breakfast and then headed down to
Cabin Boys.
Fairfield.
Um,
No, we headed to the Fairfield because we were gonna get headed to tattoos before we headed to Cabin Boys.
Oh, yes,
yeah.
that was
changed. And then because we realized that the tattoo place didn't open until 11 o'clock, same time Cabin Boys did. And it's a good thing I did go to Cabin Boys because I managed to get a signed can.
yeah. And
I mean, they were guaranteed in every. I think it was one in every case guaranteed.
Yes.
And I bought 2 4-packs out of 6 in a flat and managed to score one.
Yeah.
So that was sweet.
So for Cabin Boys, so we showed up a little bit before 11 and we started the lot. Well, there's a couple people ahead of us who we indoctrinated into the den. We were like, hello. Because we were all hanging out in this group. There's like 20 of us, all clearly knowing each other, meeting up, a lot of us for the first time.
Pretty sure we were howling the whole time.
Oh, we were. They were filming us from inside the brewery or the brew pub because we just like, and I ended up talking to them and I was like, have you ever had this? And they're like, not since our opening. So they basically like, HowlerCon is the second biggest thing they've done because we like, by 11 o'clock, there was like, the line was long. It
was around the corner, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that building is not small.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
we
like,
just all
there's
hung out at Cabin Boys,
For a long
drank
time.
for a long time.
yeah,
A few of you went and got tattoos, and a
yeah.
bunch
We
of
we
us
got
just continued
our
to
ATA
drink.
tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, how many of
What
you
is
went for tattoos?
explain
Oh God.
ATA?
Yeah.
So, chapter 74 of Dark Age, there is a moment where Ephraim and Volga are talking, and he says that there's a word in your language that means something deeper than family, and Volga says Eta, and it means tribe.
Yeah.
And I can't remember who it was that suggested it. It might have been Shroud, um, that
Yeah.
suggested
I know Shroud
Eta
was like
as a
headlining it,
tattoo.
but
Yeah.
Yeah. But as soon as I saw that, I was like, "Yep, done." Like,
Yeah.
in 100%. Um, and there was almost a dozen of us, I think,
Yeah.
that got it.
mm-hmm.
Uh,
Spread
Button,
over 2 days.
Alcatraz, me, Merlot, uh, Glitz,
Dram, Badger.
uh, Ram, Badger, Smokescreen, uh, Volley, Voyager. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, if I missed you, I'm sorry. There was a lot of people.
There's
Yeah.
always one.
There's always one. Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, we kind of had then. Yeah, you guys went for tattoos. We drank
Yeah,
and
we all
then had a
just hung
chill
out.
afternoon. I went to the pool on my own because I was
Yeah.
like, at some point, I was like, screw this. I'm going back to the pool because I was pretty tipsy at that point. I don't
Also,
know.
can we just talk about the beer? Like, we didn't
Oh
even.
yeah, we didn't even really.
Like,
Okay,
Yeah.
so we got the special beer that Peerless
which
Gold.
I'm not a beer drinker, and I actually liked it.
It was pretty
Yeah,
good.
it's pretty
So
good.
it was pretty good.
Red Wing did rate it a 5 out of 5 on Untapped, but he
Oh.
rates everything a
It
5
is.
out of
It is.
5 just
It
for
is in
being
fact a
beer.
beer.
That is
Yeah.
correct.
It fills its purpose.
Yep. No, it was good. So yeah, and that was the reason for HowlerCon. Like the whole thing is Joel wanted to make this beer and realized that
The
they
impetus.
can't ship it out of Oklahoma because of state laws, and so we'll have to bring everybody to Oklahoma. Is how we ended up with this whole event is because of this beer. Yeah. Yeah, and then we all just continued to drink it. Well, that's not
Yeah.
true. Once I left, I didn't have it because I was like, oh, I'll covet it. It will be in my
Yeah.
room.
After the tattoo contingent came back, we wandered down to Empire Slices, which
Ooh.
was an unbelievable New York style pizza place. You know, had lunch, like lunch,
Yeah.
supper type thing.
That's a
And
downfall of Salem and I, is we did not eat on the Thursday we
No.
discovered.
That's
We
that's
had
a
some
book.
French fries.
We had French fries. Like,
That
it was.
poor choices were made. This is
Okay.
so I got into a haunted
is-
elevator and then I didn't eat. We're up to
2 for 2.
two not the greatest choices.
Well, and I forgot that. So with Washington, like most bars have food,
Yeah.
and like there's a lot of places that have food. We also learned that you're not supposed to open cans in.
Oh
Tulsa.
yes,
We got in trouble for that one.
So that's no, it's not an Ontario rule, but I don't know why, but I was like the only one who asked for a pour at Cabin Boys. Like I think I bought 8, and then I was like, and a pour, and they're like, great, and then everyone else got yelled at for drinking out of the cans.
Yeah. Well, I know, like even for us, like they'll bring you the bottle, they'll bring you the can, and then if you want a glass, you can have the glass. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's Tulsa, so it's Oklahoma. They have their own things.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't eat anything. I bought French fries. I bought like 2 or 3 things of French fries for everybody.
For like everybody.
And then ate some of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to say, the other end of Cabin Boys had food.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
And I think you could have gotten like
No, I went
any
over there.
amount of
That's
food.
like I literally went up to the counter because I was gonna be like, oh, just put it on my tab, and then they're like, oh no, food's down there.
Yeah.
And so I went and I got food, and then but I was like, okay, if we're gonna go somewhere else for lunch, and then we stayed there for another 2
That's
hours.
I think we just kept thinking of there's going to be a different plan
Yeah,
and then
it didn't
didn't.
happen.
And again, like
Yeah.
I could have gotten food. I went to the pool instead. Like there was
There was like
just
coffee shop, there was a restaurant.
we
We could have
could
gone and
have.
gotten food somewhere. Yeah. No,
It just
that
wasn't
was
our
our mistake.
smartest grade.
But yeah, so like not many bars, like actual bars, have bar food. And so I remember that like when we were sitting in the last bar we were at, I remembered that and I was like, oh, cool. But then everything closes at like 10.
Yeah.
And so by the end of the night, it was like we're dying for food and there was no food to be found.
There's nothing.
Did not plan.
Did not plan. But yeah, so then the cool thing is, and it's funny, we keep explaining it like it's spring break is what I keep hearing.
Yeah.
Like it's like being
That's
on
what it
spring
feels
break.
like.
And because we had so many people from the den there, you just needed to like message of who's doing what, where's right. So the tattoo contingency goes. There's a few of us headed back to the hotel just to chill. Like, and you would just message of like, where are you now? Where are you now? And like, I don't even know where some people went. I had to get into my cosplay. I was Victra and needed to rip my pants to be Victra and needed Dram's knife. I don't know where Dram was. I just messaged Hydro and was like,
She's
let
probably
me
out getting lunch with all the tattoo people.
Oh yeah, that's right. She would have been with you, Crescent. And I messaged
She was not at pizza.
Oh, we've
with
lost Dram.
Oh.
We've lost Dram.
I feel like that was a thing.
I had to message Hydro and was like, I need Dram's knife. And if you're not in the den, Dram is notoriously the person with the
Dram
probably
is
the
strapped.
She at all times has the most weapons on her. The most. Like, so I like messaged and was like, get me and like Hydro, I need you into your room. I need Dram's knife. And I don't even like, I apologized to the person who was hanging out with Hydro that I like come in and like he helped me rip my like use the knife to like rip my pants. And like it was really funny. I was like, okay, which then Hydro disappeared and Dram returned by the time you got back, Salem.
Yeah, because I was getting ready.
You're getting ready, and then we swapped Hydro for Dram, and the three of us took the scooters to the Fairfield, which there is a great reel because I brought the GoPro.
Dude, those scooters were probably life-saving. And they were cheap,
so good.
And they were fast, and I mean, granted, if you weren't wearing sunglasses, your eyeballs dried out, like just from how hot it was. But it was 100%. Like it was better than walking 4 or 5 blocks to the next place when you could ride there in a matter of like 2 minutes.
If you were sweating and you got on the scooters, you were no longer sweating.
You were just hot.
And you were just hot. It was like standing inside a blow dryer.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so gross.
But then you were hot for way less time.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. You had to be outside last time. So it was nice.
So we just recently got them in Saskatoon, like this summer. I want to say like it was maybe last summer, but I'm pretty sure I only saw them this year. And I was like, these are the most ridiculous thing. Like absolutely not.
I see them in Seattle.
No.
Yeah.
No fucking way. Like not a fucking chance will I ride one of those things. And then I got to Tulsa. And we were
obsessed with them.
We were leaving the dumpling place.
Oh yeah, you guys. We should like. We're leaving dumplings. Scarlett's got a car, and I was like, bye, and it just jumped like without asking her. I was like, okay. So that was the first dumb decision, as I got into a stranger's car. But I was like,
yeah, Scarlett's not a stranger.
But yeah. Because I'm too ginger for Tulsa that I was like, get me in the air conditioning now. And then there was the people who walked, and then a group of you took the scooters, and that was the first scooter was the,
Mm-hmm. Where Dram apparently was like doing circles around everybody.
Oh yeah, this was like so much faster than the rest of ours.
Yeah. But yeah, so we ended up taking the scooters to the Fairfield, which was the hair braiding party. And thank you, Merlot. Can I just say that like we were like, where's the hair braiding party? And he I don't even think he I think I dictated that it was gonna happen there. Like, I think I fully told him of like,
No.
No, he said
volunteered it.
that he wanted, so he pretty much was like, okay, you guys can do the hair braiding party at my room as long as you teach me how to
oh,
braid
that
hair.
was right.
Because
That
he
was
wants
right.
to braid
Oh,
his little
yeah.
girl's hair. Yeah.
That was right.
So yeah,
Yes, we had
there
hair
ended
braiding
up being,
party.
like 20
Oh my
people.
God.
I think there was more than 20 people.
There was more than
in-
we
in-
packed
in
that
his
Rose
place.
motel room.
Like, I have a video. I love Badger's
Actually,
video
yeah.
where literally
What?
everybody's just like, what?
What? Yeah, I nearly passed out. We got there and I had to be seated next to the air conditioning and given a
Because we
lot
got
of
stuck
water.
in the little vestibule. We got stuck in the
yeah.
vestibule.
The
And
little
it was
oven.
like,
God,
and
it
literally
was-
this lady comes up and she's like, oh yeah, I got stuck in there yesterday. Here, I'll open it for you.
It was terrible. But yeah, kudos to Scarlett who was doing hair. Voyager was doing hair. They were just
Rocked
amazing.
it.
They made my Warhawk, which looked fantastic. There was a whole contingency of us. And then I think Summit was the one who had the Viking beads. So some of
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
some of the women had Viking beads in their hair. I did not, but looked so good. Dram provided me with green hair elastics to be Victra. Yeah, and we rocked out to Taylor Swift and had a hair braiding party for HowlerCon. Yeah, and then walked.
And Merlot made cookies, and they were
Oh
my-
amazing.
They were so good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they were like the gallon size like bag, and then
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
not only
He made,
did this
oatmeal
man,
chocolate chip and oatmeal scotchies.
they're so
Mhm.
good. Like not only did this man make everybody cookies, he wanted to learn how to braid hair.
I know. We love
you,
Merlot. I mean, you're my enemy number one if anybody asks, but also we love you, Merlot.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then we walked over to HowlerCon and waited very briefly. They did warn us of do not come before the doors open, and we did that, but I mean, there were so many people waiting that we had to.
Yeah, there were still a bunch of people in line.
Yeah, I had to hide behind cars to find shade because there's no shade in Tulsa.
Yeah.
So there's
Cars, people, literally.
people. Yeah,
everybody
and that was how it started. Was
Yeah.
if you were taller than me, I was hiding in the shadows, and then someone was
Honestly,
like, "The
you would push
cars,"
some
and I was
people
like,
"Are shorter than you."
Yeah, me.
I just needed any shade. Have you seen me recently? Yeah, and then I was hiding behind the cars.
Kind of nice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then we got in, and they were good about getting us like as fast
yeah.
as possible
It
in.
was right through.
Yeah.
Joel was right at the end, basically right at the
Yeah.
entrance. So I
Just
quickly
chilling.
took a selfie with him. That was great.
Yeah, him on his crutches.
And everybody working the event was so kind.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody was so nice, and they totally understood like the heat and everything, like you were saying, and just getting people in. Like it was even to the point where even the person at the front like was too busy chatting with people, and some people were just like trying to get in that he was like trying to scan tickets at the same time. And I saw people that were like, "Can you please just scan my ticket?"
Yeah, they were lovely. We found like seats. Crescent and I went, these are the air conditioned seats, and sat there,
Yeah,
and then everyone kind of moved
walking
around
down
us.
The line of seats, and I went. My air conditioning senses went off, and I was like, "Stop, sit here."
Our air conditioning repairman can at all times detect the air conditioning. He's like, here. So then we made other people in the den like move around us because we were like, we are here. Which, let's just talk about how amazing the den was for that event. We just,
Oh my
the
God.
energy and
we brought the thunder.
We were the energy.
we were
Like-
rowdy as fuck.
Yeah. Like I knew we were a rowdy bunch, but like that just completely confirmed it.
Yeah.
It just and it like having all of us in a group together just multiplied it.
Yeah.
Well,
so
and that was the cool
Each
thing.
of us
Like
individually is like pretty rowdy.
yeah. Well, the cool
but
thing too
adding
was
us
that
all together.
us all coming together, we all meshed so well. There was no weird,
Yeah, there
awkward
was no.
stage. It was just we were like, oh, it was almost like a family reunion at that point, which was really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so we all sat. We had like a couple rows of us,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
uh,
yeah, 2
the
or
band
3 rows
came out
basically.
first, which was Me
Me
Like
like
Bees.
bees.
And
Yeah.
it was fun because I looked over and Dram was kind of bopping in her seat and I just looked at her. I was like, stand up. And then I was like, all of us were just like, because, and I get it. Like, if I had have been there with me or one friend, I don't know if I necessarily would have. No, I probably would have. But like, I can get it. If you're only there alone or a couple friends, like,
Yeah.
you don't want to be those people. But we had such a contingency of us that I was like, we will start this dance party. Like, we moved
Yeah.
chairs, like, we
Yeah.
created
Oh,
our
yeah,
own dance
we
floor.
Oh my god.
It was so
much fun.
good.
It was so
and
good.
we were on the chairs at parts. Like, we just kept standing on the chairs. I don't know
I'm
why.
sure
And
like
howling.
everybody that didn't know us hated us.
Oh, I'm sure.
Um,
We were those
But you
people.
know
but
what?
it was one
But
of
you know
those where it
what?
was like, I don't care.
Love it.
Like
Yeah.
it was I think it was such a memorable experience. Even
Yeah.
just sitting in the chairs. Like I hanging out with all of you guys. At one point Enigma tried going into voice comms with his
Yeah.
phone and showing everybody Me Like Bees, but it was too loud apparently. But there's this picture of
Yeah.
Enigma just sitting there with his phone and
Yeah.
it's so cute.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It was
I
just
love
so
Enigma. He's
great. And I
great.
mean, yeah, I'm sure the people behind us definitely hated us because we blocked
Mm.
everything. But
Well,
we
they
also
should have stood
made,
up.
I mean,
Yeah, they should have stood up.
that night we, like, the den gained 50 people because we just became like,
Ah.
everybody be our friend. And there were so many people who were coming up, and I came alone, I
Yeah.
did this, and we were like, great friends. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come join us.
Well,
yeah.
and even just meeting all of the different types of people, like we met HowlerPod, and it was funny because
Yeah.
I know because I've like HowlerPod and I have continually shared each other's stuff, and we've talked and whatnot either on my personal account or in the Howler's Den Instagram, and it was so funny. I walked up and Ben's like, "Oh my God, Salem! I feel like I know you, but I don't. Hi, my name's Ben." And it was just like that, and then I was walking to go get a drink and I ran into Crossland from Words and Whiskey. He literally stopped and he's like, "Oh, hi, Salem." And I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, hi, Cross. How you doing?" He's like, "I'm looking for Erin. She's a flight risk."
So Erin immediately got her howler name of Flight. I don't even think
Yep.
she knows that we've howler named her yet,
No.
but
Not
Shout
at all.
out Aaron from HowlerPod,
Aw.
aka Flight.
yeah,
That's how you got your name, Flight.
yeah.
Yep.
Which crosses Gambit. He's in the den. We have
Yep.
to name Ben. He's not.
I know. We'll figure
Yeah.
it out.
But yeah, it was so great. Well, and like later I had the run in with, and we'll talk cosplay in a second, but Jesse from Red Prince Rising, I have a video of me recording and he goes, "Thanks, Skipper." And I go, "How do you know who I am?" Which I also was wearing a name tag, but at the same time he was like,
But okay,
"You're
but he
Skipper."
was in
And then
he was in full cosplay. You couldn't see his
Yeah,
face.
well-
You didn't know who he was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Scarab Skin Severo.
Oh, he was
Yes.
amazing.
Which- So good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Me and him took pictures of Severo and Victra because it
the
worked,
height was
especially with the height. That was perfect.
Oh, it was perfect.
It was magnificent. But yeah, it was just so fun. And throughout the night, we just either kept making friends or meeting
Yep.
people we had like briefly talked to, and it was so good. But yeah, the Q&A was great. And then the cosplay was amazing as well. That we got
the cosplay.
Yeah. We had several
Yeah.
folk.
which
But
I
that
got
was the
real
fun
into
thing.
chanting because I think
Yes.
Cargo
Yeah.
was first, and so it was
Yes.
very easy. Cargo as Evie was first, and it was very easy to chant Cargo, and then Alcatraz, and then I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure I
And then
screwed up
Light
Drill Bit.
And Drill Bit.
Yep. Drillbit was so funny too because it was just
He
like
was
we
Ephraim,
knew
yeah.
Drillbit was one of the last ones, and so we all just went hard on chanting his name too. So
Yeah, we went all
Yeah.
in.
and everybody did such a good job with all their cosplays.
Oh, yeah.
There were so many good ones. Like so Red Prince Rising was Scarab Skin Severo, and he won Viewer's Choice for Vox
Yes.
Populi.
Yeah.
Everybody
The
booed
Vox
Vox
vote.
Populi.
It was us. We
It
are
was
the
us.
Vox
We all booed them.
Populi. Yeah.
And then there was somebody dressed as the Orange Armory's Red Helldiver figurine.
Yes.
Like literally
that was
down
so
to
good.
That was Summit Everest's friend.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But like it like
He was-
Josh
yeah,
even
like, exactly right.
Yeah. Well, and I talked to Jigsaw, Josh. I've known Josh for a long time, and he legit was like, I don't understand how they like exact replica that. Like everything about it. Like I want to know what because they had a faceplate on, and I want to
Tupperware.
know it was Tupperware.
It was a Tupperware.
Oh
That's
my
so
god.
cool.
Yeah.
Because I was
And
wondering, like, it looked like a screen.
Apparently, he had put like a little mini computer fan inside.
Yes.
Oh, that's a good idea, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Necessary.
Yes.
Yeah.
He won Pierce's Choice, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then there was Hot Darrow and Mustang.
Yeah. Boy howdy.
Was Alexis's choice.
Boy howdy were they Hot Darrow and Mustang.
Yeah. They were so tall. Like, dude.
Yeah, they were real golds.
That's like literal statuesque.
Yes. They were
them
legit
and
gold. Like
Apollonius.
Yes, Apple was good too.
Was also
amazing.
And I didn't realize that he was like, he became part of our group by the end, and I was looking back at pictures, and he's just in the background of all our pictures, and I'm like, this is so amazing. Yeah.
So, like, I ended up actually meeting him before he got into his cosplay.
Oh, so you got to see him fully dressed.
Yeah, lame. And I came back to the hotel to change before the braiding party, and he's like, he's set up on like 5 chairs in like the main seating area of the Holiday Inn.
Oh my god.
Getting ready as Apollonius. I'm like, dude, like it looks so good.
Yeah, he was fantastic. He was a lot of fun.
He was amazing. Yeah, his name Chuck. Chuck was his name.
Shout out to Chuck.
Actually, I think he was friends with Johnny and Hannah.
Oh, probably. That would
we just made too many friends that night that we are sorry everybody we're gonna forget. Oh my god, Johnny brought bottles of alcohol.
Yes, because we made people do the den dunk.
Okay, I didn't even do the den dunk. I just chugged tequila for some reason.
I don't know why.
I was just handing 4, I think we're on. I don't touch tequila as a rule, and he was just like, drink this, and I like took a sip, and you'll watch the video as it took me so long to get it down, because I was like, I can't. But then, we got Ben from HowlerPod did the den dunk, and for some reason...
he was just like, no.
Yeah. And then for some reason caught the alcohol in my...
of 100 people standing around
watching
him.
But he did the den pour, to be fair. He did not dunk, he poured.
Over Skipper's hands.
Over my hand. I don't know why. That was my bad... I don't know what we're on. Bad choice number 5 was to catch the whiskey.
We have a howler named Drip.
Yes.
But I'm going to vote for Ben's howler name to be Dribble, because he dribbled that whiskey over the Oreo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, Ben. I love you.
It's a howler name. It is how it is. I'm sorry. You're stuck with it.
That's so funny. All right.
No going back.
No going back. There it is. Yeah, which then led later to, while we were in line with Pierce, he has finally done the den dunk. Badger got him.
Yes.
He tried to eat the cookie first. And then...
I love that whole video.
Fucking amazing.
So Badger brought him 2 whiskeys, one for her, one for him. And then Joel got involved because Pierce could not figure out what was happening. That Joel had to be like, I did it, and come do it. Which meant they were down a whiskey. In theory, they could have shared a whiskey. Like, the den dunk...
You have to dip it.
Dunk the cookie.
But instead, I'm the one who recorded the video, and Pierce rips my Crown and Coke out of my hand. Like, just looks around and goes, I need another drink, and just rips it out of my hand as I'm like, ah. And you just hear, I yelled that it was rum and Coke, but anyway, you just hear everybody yelling of like, no, no. So, but then I don't even understand where the cookie went. Like, how did he not choke?
He dropped the cookie in the
and
drink,
he drank it.
and then he shot it.
But
the whole thing.
And then he chewed
how?
it.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed the chewing. I was like, how did he not choke on this?
Well, and I think Joel did the same thing. I think Joel saw him doing it. Like, I have a video of them from the side.
Yeah.
And I think Joel does the same thing where he dunks it in there and then they drink it. So I don't know. He did it finally.
He did it with a Crown and
Can't
Coke.
wait for him to do it sober.
Yeah. Yeah, we gotta find, because that was the thing, is everybody kept bringing
Salem.
Pierce. Oh, Seattle, Salem.
What is it, tomorrow there's a Seattle signing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Take him some whiskey and an Oreo.
Oh,
like,
God.
all right, you faked it. You faked it at HowlerCon. Let's do it for you.
I'll see. I'll let you know.
We'll
if
see.
I do.
We'll report back.
We'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, Pierce, everyone just kept bringing him alcohol. He was pretty gone.
Such a good time.
He was hugging everybody. He was caressing my face. Me and him were just gossiping halfway through. Like, we would just, if you've seen the video of me and him, we're just gossiping is all that's happening. Like, it was pretty funny that he just was having the time of his life, as he should. Like, well deserved to him.
Oh yeah. Him and I told each other we loved each other. Great. Got the biggest fucking hug.
Yeah, I got a giant hug because the moment he saw me, he was like,
I am a hugger.
Yes, he is. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I went up and Drams, because you guys walked off, just all starstruck. and Skipper was
I needed a new drink.
Person.
That was the plan of like, I did this in Toronto, I'll do it again. And then nope, I just opted to, I needed another drink. My drink was stolen.
No, totally. But then, so Dram was with me, and she just, like, literally, like, we're sitting there talking, and then all of a sudden, it's my turn, and Pierce looks at me, he's like, oh my God, Salem! And I'm like, okay, hi, Pierce. And then he, like, pulls me into a hug, and then he's like, oh, my sovereign. And so he writes in the biggest, chunkiest letters he can, my sov, because then he ran out of room. He's like, nah, it's fine. And he closes the book and he goes to give me another hug. And he's like, can I pick you up? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, okay, here we go. And then he goes and he lifts me up onto his shoulder. And the entire crowd just starts cheering. And I'm just like, okay, we're going with it.
We're just... Yeah, he was pretty funny.
For those of you wondering, that is how you ask for consent.
Yes, because consent is sexy.
Yeah.
Correct.
But yeah, that was like the most surreal experience, and I was just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That happened, and then pretty much like I don't even remember the rest of the conversation. Like we said something else.
You blacked out.
I think he asked me. He's like, have I met you in person before? And I was like, well, Dark Age, and then I interviewed you, and then Emerald City Comic-Con. He's like, oh, I remember one of those times.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. And then it ended, and then I walked away and found you guys, and you were both talking to Joel.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't have to walk very far.
No, didn't have to walk very far.
No, Joel was directly behind,
And because
Crescent was talking to Joel. I think I genuinely needed to go to get a drink.
Yeah.
And then one mindset.
Literally all of us surrounded Joel, and I was like, oh, okay, because my plan was to give Pierce
Team Steve.
But I was gonna have Pierce choose between Goose Bucket and Steve. So if you don't know, if you're not in the den, there's a whole lore behind this.
Please give this in a 30-second.
I'll try. Okay, so the lore between Steve and Goose Bucket, when you are brought into the den, there's a welcome message, and sometimes you get certain stickers for you to wave at people. One of them is a peach with pits for eyes, and is so excited to see you. Some people
It's
really
just
don't like
vibrating.
Steve. Yes, exactly.
Some of us hate Steve.
Some of them hate Steve because they
I don't.
really
Okay,
think
hates
it's
is
creepy.
strong. He's trying to steal your souls. I don't. I already don't
Yeah.
have one, so I'm safe. But I'm just looking out for the rest of you.
Well, then why do you hate so much?
Yeah.
Because I'm
Her.
looking out for the
Her.
rest
Also,
of you.
Steve's a
Her.
Steve is a girl.
Steve's a her.
Steve is a girl. I both named
okay.
and gendered Steve, and I'm anti-Steve.
Okay, but then
He would be.
if you don't like Steve, you like Goose Bucket.
We
and
love
it's literally
Goose
an
Bucket.
emoji that I found because I was looking for a bucket emoji, and it's a goose with a bucket on its head.
The best.
And now it's just a thing.
Yeah.
We
It's
wanted
insanity.
to. It is. It's a cult within a cult within a cult. I don't know.
It's
Oh.
cult all the way down.
Yeah. And so I originally wanted to ask Pierce his decision on it, but Pierce there were so many people in line, and Pierce
Yeah.
was not. He was pretty drunk at this point, and I was like, nah, it's not
This
gonna happen.
was 8 sheets to the wind.
Yeah. Which good for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he had a great time, and I'm so happy
yeah.
for him.
I'm so bright. He doesn't remember any of it. I was talking to him the next morning. He doesn't remember any of it, but great time.
But so we were talking to Joel, and I was like, oh, I'll ask Joel. And Joel literally is sitting there, and he's like, I don't know. And he's like, what even is this? And I was like, I don't have time to explain. You'll have to
That's
figure
a
it
great
out. Just choose
question,
one. Yeah. But in the end, he chose Steve. And it's so funny because at the end of that video, like when he's like, Hail Libertas, hail Steve, you hear Summit. Summit's on the other side. She's like, wait, really?
She's like standing over him too. She's like, don't let anybody sway your choice.
Yeah. Which then we've gone now back and forth with him on Instagram about it, because I was calling him out. I'm like, really? That's who you're choosing? And he's like, I don't know what I did. And I was like, you chose the wrong one.
That's the secret. None of us have any idea what the fuck is going on.
We don't know what's happening. You just choose a side and you stick with it.
Yeah.
And you be very committed to your side. Yesterday in the den, somehow, usually the Stevers take over, but we had 20 glorious minutes where it was only Team Goose Bucket. And it was the best of all of us. We're like, wait, your Team Goose Bucket? Your Team Goose Bucket? It was a great 20 minutes in the den. Why? I don't know. It doesn't make any sense.
I don't know. I mean, it's pure Howler shit at this point.
It really is.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, that was
it for pretty much. We were hanging out there for a bit.
Except I got to get up on stage a
Oh,
little bit.
that's right. Oh,
yeah.
We kind of forgot that part.
Also, Crescent, you want to tell them what you did howling?
Oh yeah. Who howled too hard?
So I howled far too hard. No, actually no. I howled just enough.
It's the rest of us that didn't howl hard enough.
Yeah, I gave myself a migraine and a nosebleed.
The best is I just look over and you're just sitting there holding your nose, trying to like get past me.
I'm just sitting there like this.
And I'm like, what are you? And he's like, I've got a nosebleed.
New.
Which the best was, so then I yell, you tried to get up and go, and I was like, no, don't miss the Q&A. And I just go, like, yell to, I think, Dram, because Dram's a mom. Mom's got everything.
And she's a nurse.
Dram's a mom
and she's a nurse. No, she could only provide an antiseptic wipe. But then, like, 4 other people were like, who's got what?
I ended up with this stack of, like, gauze and Kleenex.
Well,
like, Drillbit was sitting behind me in his
dentist.
Like, Ephraim kit. He's got gauze and everything. I'm like, oh my god, guys! Like,
which then
literally surrounded by yellows.
And my favorite was Hydro, also yellow. Just goes, who's got a tampon? And I was like, it's a great "she's the man" reference that we were almost at that point. I'm like, Crescent, here's the tampon. Stick that up your nose. Yeah, but yeah. So you, with gauze up your nose, had to then get on stage because.
So they started asking who traveled the farthest to get here.
And it was not a competition. Everyone.
Well, okay, so
actually, I did the math. I technically I technically am farther.
Further. You
I
traveled further.
but
Absolutely,
I
you
think
traveled
you
further.
deserved it because
For the
you
drive.
You flew.
physically drove.
Yeah.
I flew.
Yeah.
That's cheating.
So that's the thing too, is like Jigsaw
Yeah.
or Josh from
He
Orange
was
Army Training,
technically further.
He drove further than I did.
Yeah.
But he was
Josh was like,
working
"Oh,
it.
I'd do it anyway."
He was like, I'm not gonna go for this. Like, I have everything from Lit Escalates. I make half of it. Like,
Yeah.
and he did it across 3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did it in
I did it
than
on 2
48.
hours of sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did 24 hours in 26.
Can we also, though, if you watched the video where they're like, and who are you? And you're like, Hayden, and you listen to the whole day and go, who? Like, who? And then you're like, Crescent. and we were
I kind of did this one too. I'm like, wait, what? No, that's
we were
not
like,
right.
who's Hayden? You don't have a real name. But like, just in disgust, the whole den was like, what? Government name? We
so
don't
weird.
give government names.
There was a couple times I met people and they would give me their normie name, and I would accidentally give them my normie name.
I did that a couple times too. Yeah.
No.
Like, I don't like that.
No, I had friends that I knew previously there, and they very quickly caught on of like, she's Skipper. I was like, yeah. We don't use government names. But yes, you got what, $100 from Lit Escalates that you used today.
$100 from Lit Escalates that I used on the HowlerCon drop.
Nice.
Also
and you got a new jacket.
A new bigger Sherpa jacket, the black Sherpa jacket, because big boys need big jackets. And those jackets are not sized for me. Say that for free.
But yeah, so then
if you're gonna get a Howler jacket, size down, or don't size down, size up, because
size
they are
up.
small.
I originally bought a large, and I am 6 foot 220, and I could wear it. I chose not to have the wrist clasps closed, and most of the time I did not do it up, just because it was slightly uncomfortable. I sized up to 2XL, and I'm expecting that will be much better.
Yeah.
But now Scarlett has that jacket.
Scarlett has your jacket.
And is now an honorary member of Apollo Legion.
Yay! Which means you have to visit us, Scarlett.
Yeah. Come in winter.
If you don't know, Apollo Legion is what the Den calls Canada, because just keep saying it out loud. Yeah, just Apollo Legion. Yeah.
Yep.
There was someone else from, I met at least one other Canadian who's only 45 minutes from my house. And we were talking, and she's like, oh, I'm from here. And I was like, because we all, like, spoiler alert, we all, if you're in Southern Ontario, claim we're from Toronto. Most of us are not. We are from, like, the greater Toronto area. So we kept saying Toronto, and she's like, actually, I'm from, and I won't say where she's from. And I was like, oh, actually, I'm from here. And she's like, oh, okay. So that was fun. But she
Seattleites
flew.
do that too.
Yeah, she flew. So,
so when I posted my on the way home story, I found out that there's somebody that grew up like an hour from me.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's sweet. Yeah.
There's so many connections that we made on this. Like,
oh my God. That was the amazing part, is we just kept making friends. And like, so we leave HowlerCon and we went to a bar, and then another bar, apparently. They blurred together for me, not gonna lie. And
we were only at the first bar for about 12 minutes.
Okay, because someone said to me, they're like, one bar or the other, and I was like, hold on. I thought we were just at the Sound Pony. But we just kept bringing, so HowlerPod, and Cross from Words and Whiskey came with us. Apollonius came with us. Like, we just kept being like, you're with our group now.
It was a gravitational pull of howlers.
like I also felt bad almost for that bar that was closing. Like, all of a sudden they had 2 people playing pool in that bar, and then we walk up to a group of 30 of us, just strolling across the street from Cane's, and you just see the bouncer run
Yeah,
to the door.
Yeah, and after everybody gets their IDs checked, which wow, are they vigilant about that there?
Oh, I know. Well, that's the whole U.S., but yeah, that's a
Yeah.
whole
Yeah.
other tangent we can.
But we walk through the door and you see this bartender. Her eyes just go like dinner plates.
Yeah.
Like, and I asked her like, do you guys not have people come over from Canes? She's like, usually when Canes lets out, we don't see anybody come in.
Interesting.
And that was some
Weird.
like that was one of the cool things that oh, what was his name from Magic City Books? The host.
Oh,
I feel really
I don't
bad that I
remember
don't
his
remember.
name.
He was
But
amazing.
the
We
He
loved
host
was
that
him.
that
great
was
host.
running the Q&A,
Yes.
Yeah.
running the mic from Magic City Books in Tulsa. He was like, my whole career, like I've dreamed of having a book event that is the energy of a concert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like we nailed that
Oh yeah.
like 100%.
Oh yeah. And I think
Yeah.
he even said that too, where he's like, this is the energy that should be happening for books or could be happening for books,
Yes.
obviously.
Yeah.
Like it's books are, I don't know, they're just, I don't want to say they're frowned upon, but they're not given the same energy that bands are, that other artists are. And
For
Oh yeah,
sure.
they're
I really
definitely more of
do.
a low key
Yes.
medium, which
Well,
Yeah.
and
makes
even
sense. But
then, like, I mean, I obviously work book industry. I work these events, and even when I say, when I talk about how many events I've been to, people are like, "Oh, you like follow the author?" Like I'm like this weird thing that even, so Toronto's only an hour from me, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm going downtown Toronto for this." And the response I get all the time is like, "Oh, really?" Like it's this bizarre thing to do that rather than like for sure, like if your favorite band is playing, it's not weird to travel for them. Like
Right.
oh
it
yeah.
would not be a weird thing to, oh yeah, I saw the, like, let's talk T Swift. How many times are people trying to like fly across the world to see her?
Yeah.
And like, I love Taylor. Let's not get me wrong on this, but books have affected my life and made more connections than any band ever would. So why wouldn't I give the author that due? But it's just this bizarre thing of people, and I mean, maybe it's because reading is still given that like
It's not a cool
nerdiness.
person
Yeah,
thing.
it's
Yeah.
like, oh, you just sit in your home and do that by
Yeah.
yourself rather than,
Mhm.
Fuck that. People who
Yeah.
read are my homies. Y'all are cool as
Yeah.
yeah,
fuck.
yeah. So yeah, that's what he said totally resonated with me, and we definitely brought that energy of like that. I mean, there was a concert element, but I think even without the band,
Yeah.
we would have had that rowdiness. We would have had
Oh
that
yeah.
like total, um, yeah, that energy we all brought, and then continued to bring into
Oh,
into the bar and
Oh yeah.
karaoke, which was
like
hilarious
We
because
found
the entire
karaoke.
weekend.
which
Yeah.
karaoke was a joke in the den of we're gonna
Yeah.
find karaoke, and I had to be continuously like, guys, we don't actually know where a karaoke bar is. Like everyone stopped talking and like that we're actually going to karaoke, and then we find the bar and we're like, oh my god, there's karaoke.
Perfect. And they only do it on Thursday nights.
Yes, it
Yep.
was meant to be
And we jam packed
that
that
whole
bar.
night. Oh my
Oh
god.
Like
god, yeah,
At
that
that
bar was
point, there had to be
full.
like 60 of us. Like we just.
well,
Yeah, there
because it
was
also had a spot outside. I didn't go outside.
Oh,
But they
that's I
had
was
like
outside
a
most of it. Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
know. You disappeared.
Yeah.
I lost my books.
Okay,
I
quick.
disappeared.
I took your books, Crescent took your books. I lost
You
Stick
guys had me
Sprout
back.
like 3 times.
Stick Sprout. We haven't even brought up
Yeah.
Stick Sprout. There is someone in the den who unfortunately could not come to HowlerCon, so I think Slink is who made Stick Sprout, and
Yeah.
then
Yep.
she got to come on all the adventures and be in all the pictures, and then
Yep.
she got lost.
Yep.
In my bag.
He was
Like I
not
felt
marked safe from
so bad.
HowlerCon.
She
No,
was
she's
not
not.
safe.
No, I like okay, so we're in the bar and I swear to let's just say I swear to Reaper that I gave Stick Sprout to somebody at HowlerCon. Somebody gave me Stick Sprout to hold on to for like 20 minutes, and I was like, okay, take Stick Sprout back. You're back from the bathroom or whatever. And then I swear I didn't have her. And then we're at the bar and somebody's like, Salem, you had Stick Sprout. And I was like, I gave Stick Sprout to somebody. And then I'm like, it's not even in my book because I literally slid her into my book and closed the book, and she's not there.
Yeah.
And then this is like 20 minutes. And I'm like, I don't have her. Like, I thought I gave it to Summit. And then I was like, I don't know if there's anybody else I would have given it to her besides Slink. Slink didn't
I had
have
her
she was
for
looking for
2
her.
minutes, and I freaked out the whole time because I
Yeah.
was not responsible at that time.
And then, so I was like, okay, let me look in Skipper's bag just in case. I look in Skipper's bag, don't see anything. And I was like, let me double check my bag one more time. She's hiding underneath my book. And I was just like, I swear I did not put her in here. I was not
Silly
sober.
Stick Sprout.
But apparently she just wanted to hang out with Primus.
She just
That's
knew. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Sprout was eventually. I thought, like, but didn't she get lost again? Because then she needed to
'cause
be refound
she
in the
was
morning.
lost the next morning, like the next day.
Yeah.
I think we then decided that she was the most deserving of the marked safe from HowlerCon sticker.
Yes. She went home
made
with
it a big step on
Hydro.
her. Yep.
She made it home
And
with
then-
Hydro.
And Hydro took her to LA to meet Libro.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
So.
She's been around. She played in Vegas.
doing lots
She
of
went
places.
gambling in Vegas.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, fabulous night. And then the next morning we were all feeling it as we went to the
All
pool
hungover.
and had an epic pool party while totally hungover.
Lost his
I am
voice.
still team holiday hangovers don't exist.
Oh my god, you're
Okay,
yeah, that's right.
whatever.
You were
I was
drinking the
not
next day and
hungover,
I
but
was
my-
not.
I was not hungover, but my entire voice was gone.
Oh yeah. We were supposed to record. We were supposed to do this.
Yeah, we were
In
supposed to have
Tulsa.
an in-person podcast recording. It actually, you know what? It probably would have been hilarious.
Oh yeah.
Well, I have a great
was also
video
not
of
enough
you
time in the day.
explaining.
I would have held the microphone right here so it picked up even my smallest noises.
Oh god. Yeah, you were
It would have been
rough.
ASMR.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and then we were in the pool
Um,
and continuing to howl. And that was the moment I realized we were a cult, is someone yelled, "Hail Reaper." And you listen, and we had all lost the, like, top octave of our voices. So in the deepest voice, you hear all of us go. So someone said, "Yell, Hail Libertas." And you just hear us all go, "Hail Reaper." I was like,
And you see that people in the windows start to open the windows of like, what is happening outside?
what
Yeah.
is... Yeah.
Yeah. We were in the pool for like 3 hours.
We were so I had
Yeah.
to leave because I'm too ginger
Yeah.
for that. I was like, I need air conditioning.
We did not play capture the flag like we were going to.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, and then I have Skiplum was going to be one of our
Skiplum.
teams.
So
Yeah.
Dram lovingly made us flags. One says Skiplum because Skipper and Salem were one team, and the other team was Pop Top, who is
Right.
not in Tulsa, and Checkmate.
No.
So they were Popmate, right?
Pop me.
Popmate.
Yeah.
Yep.
Even though Pop Top did
And I
not
gave-
make it to Tulsa.
I gave Checkmate the
Yeah.
flag. So
Yeah.
we got that.
Yeah, and you get Skipper.
Speaking of
The pool
Checkmate,
party
he
was
tried-
fun.
He tried to give me my $5 back that I gave him for that toll. I'm like, no, Checkmate. You keep that. I
Checkmate is a heart of
appreciate the
gold.
offer, but you
Oh.
keep that.
Yeah.
My sweet little boy. My
But
sweet
yeah.
little lad.
Yeah, the pool party was fun. I brought floaties, so we had a unicorn and a shark. I also brought weird Canadian food. That everyone
Yes.
was like, "What?" Which, can I just say that, like, then Saturday morning we still had half of each bag of chips. So one was ketchup chips and one was all dressed. And I was taking the all dressed. I did not care, and I was like,
Yep.
"Crescent, you want the ketchup?" And immediately you're like, "Yes!" It's like, this is such a Canadian moment of like, "Oh yeah, I'll take the all
I
dressed.
also
You
ended
take the
up-
ketchup."
I also ended up with Hydro's bag of Maramango,
Oh yeah,
hot chili
yeah. She bought a whole bunch of
Dried
like,
mango.
flavors.
Mhm.
haven't tried them yet.
I
Ooh,
think she
keep us
sent me
posted
some.
on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just had a full, we just had a full, it was a good time. I ended up having to go up, I broke back into Dram and Hydro's room and took all the water because I was like, we
Oh
are
yeah.
so, like, I brought back, which Hydro on brand as we came back from the dumpling
Yep.
place on Wednesday, brought back a 24 pack of water. And I was like, of course Hydro did. Like, it was the best moment seeing, I think Coins had to carry it, but she just like walks in and she's like, I
Yep.
got us all water. So that came to the pool party because yeah, we just had a great time of
And
chilling.
Meringue
Yeah.
made
Oh
cookies.
my
Oh
She
my
God.
made
god. Yeah.
macaroons.
He made
Oh my
Like,
God.
macarons.
That
oh my God,
had, and she'd used one of the Hazard Bedlam stickers
as
she
a
had
template.
as a template. So
Yeah.
they all had the House Mars symbol on them.
Hmm. And they were
Half of
strawberry
half of them
flavored.
did, and half of
Had
and
gold.
the rest of them
Yes, were
were
red and gold.
red with gold sprinkle. Oh
Ugh,
my
they were
god.
so good.
I'm gonna drive to Minnesota just for
Just for
those.
that. It was so
Honestly,
good.
like my drive back, I had the option to drive halfway and end up in Minneapolis and then
Oh.
drive home. But it was
Hmm.
like, as much as I wanted to, I was like, I know all of the Minnesota Howlers are gonna have their own thing going on.
Yeah.
I don't know what time I'm gonna come in. It's gonna be late. I don't want to get a bunch of drinks in me and be hungover and
Yeah,
have to drive out the next morning and drive 11 hours.
that's fair.
Um,
But
but that was an option.
yeah.
Also, we found out this weekend that uh, Minneapolis is actually the halfway point for Skipper and I.
It is. It's not only the halfway point, but it's only Crescent would only have to go an extra hour to hit Winnipeg, which has a brewery that brews I think it's a stained beer, but it's Red Rising themed.
Yeah,
So
they have reached out to us, just
yeah,
saying, hey,
yeah, and I
we are
messaged. I was like, so can you
either of us
ship to
have
Ontario or
no
Saskatchewan because
doubt.
they're in between us in Manitoba, and they're like, we can't cross. And all these breweries learn how to cross state or provincial lines, please.
Yeah,
But yeah,
there's a distillery in Campbell River, BC,
okay.
that I can order bottles of whiskey from.
Listen,
They need to teach people.
get us our beer.
They need to teach people.
But yeah, so that's our plan. We will meet up in Minnesota because that's our halfway point, and Crescent will put a stop in Winnipeg so that we can get that beer. But
Yep.
yeah, the Minnesota Howlers, there's so many of
Yeah,
them.
they turned up.
Oh yeah.
I think there's more of them than Texas at this point. Like,
Yeah, seriously.
there's so many.
Yeah, they do was it monthly meetups?
Yes, and
I think
there's
so,
a
yeah.
brewery. Yeah, they have a brewery they go to.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. But yeah, so after the pool party, everybody crashed so hard.
Well,
We
no,
went to
some
the
of us
tattoo parlor.
Oh, that's right.
Together.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I tried to block that out because I was just
Yeah.
hung over in the back seat. You guys got matching tattoos. I did not.
Yeah.
did.
And drill bit.
You guys,
Yeah.
what'd you get? What'd you get?
We got
We got
Roman numeral
7th Legion.
7 for 7th Legion for Pegasus Legion.
Yeah.
So all the moderators are Pegasus Legion.
Yeah.
So that. And then we crashed.
Then we crashed.
And then we went
Oh.
to our low draft gala.
Yeah,
dinner.
we didn't even crash though. We basically
No, we
No,
just
we
kept
just-
going.
we just went
We just
from
go low.
tattoos. Yeah, it was definitely a lull.
Because
Yeah,
we still
went
hadn't really
straight from
eaten
tattoos
anything.
to supper.
Yeah.
And
Is
Salem
the-
bought me supper for my birthday.
Yes, it was your
which
birthday.
was very sweet.
Oh yeah, I have my low
Um,
draft t-shirt, gala t-shirt on because mine did not show up until I had returned. Thanks, Border.
Yeah, mine was waiting for me when I showed up at home.
Mm-hmm.
But
They're
you
so
can
soft.
still get them even if you did
Oh,
not
they're
come to our
amazing,
low
yeah.
draft gala.
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
like the pool party was the
If you
actual
want
low
one
draft
to- Oh, yeah.
gala.
Yes,
Yeah,
I agree.
if you want one to commemorate being there, great, get one. If you want one because you think they're dope and you
Oh,
wish
yeah.
you were there,
And you weren't high
absolutely
draft
get
enough to
one.
go to the dinner anyways.
That was the key.
with
It was
Pierce.
all of us
That was
who
the whole
were.
thing.
We did
Yeah.
not get to go to
Yeah.
the dinner, and therefore
Yeah.
we are low draft.
Anybody anybody who didn't go to the dinner,
You are
please
welcome. Get a
feel
t-shirt.
free to order a Low Draft Gala shirt from
Yeah.
howlerhollow.net.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, we had, I mean, and that was such a low energy dinner. We just all like
Oh, man.
sat there and like,
Yeah,
yep.
But we
was
also still
none of
had
us,
people
literally
coming.
not one of us. Literally not one of us had an alcoholic beverage at that drink.
No.
No,
or at
we did
that
not.
We were
supper.
like water.
Yeah, but yeah, as you say, like we were sitting there, and I think we started with like 6 or 8 of
started
us.
with 6 people, I think.
I think
And
Yeah,
then
and then we just had to keep
Yeah.
pulling tables over because
Yeah.
more and more people kept coming in as we were like,
Yeah.
oh, like, and they just kept finding us. And so, yeah, and then we wandered Tulsa for a little bit, which was
Yeah, we
fun, but hot.
walked the downtown
Yeah.
core.
Yep.
Ended up back at Cabin Boys.
In which we all just stared at our waters,
for half
and
an
so
hour.
I ordered a ginger beer because I could not have alcohol at that moment, and
I ended up
you got a
getting
real beer.
key lime cider. Yeah.
How was the
which
key? How was
fantastic.
that?
Honestly, it was amazing. Tastes like key lime pie.
Yeah, and
Um,
because we could not have alcohol, like beer, we couldn't consume it because we were all so like done. We went to Valkyrie's, which is like
Yeah.
the like very
No, okay.
expensive.
It was okay. So it was you, me, like the two of you, Badger Crescent, and Hydro. And we're literally all just sitting there in Cabin Boys, like staring at our water. And then I think Badger's just like, whiskey?
And Checkmate.
And
was
Checkmate.
with it.
No, I think I went. You know what? I think I would feel like a bad whiskey lover if I didn't go to Valkyrie and check it out.
Yeah.
Because we had said something about Valkyrie and I hadn't
Yeah.
made it there yet.
Yeah, because other people
I
had
think I
gone the
would be a
Wednesday night,
bad- Yeah.
but we
I
had
think-
not.
So we
And then
ventured over to
and
Valkyrie.
then I succeeded in my calling as a whiskey lover.
Yes, you
and
did.
had
You
three
kept-
Tried
bottles of
so
amazing
many.
whiskey.
Yeah,
Well,
you
two
had
of them I hadn't had before, and then
Yeah.
one
Three?
was my
Yeah.
my absolute favorite.
I stuck to mocktails, but then just kept drinking your whiskey. I was like, I can't touch any alcohol. Let me have a sip. Like it was my.
It's not like I wasn't offering though.
Yeah.
No. You freely offered all, but yeah, everyone had. We just hung out there, which again, then we were just sitting there,
Bold.
and more and more
God.
people. Bold showed
Yes.
up.
Bold showed up. Red Prince
Yeah.
Rising or Wings or
Jesse.
he doesn't know it yet, but we're gonna call him Scarab.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we got to see everybody
then-
who was at the dinner
who was
Yeah.
at
slowly
the-
showed
All of a
up.
sudden I just
Yeah.
showed up.
Yeah,
And so we got
chatted
to
with,
Alexis.
from Nerdy Inc. for
Yes.
a while. She was so amazing.
Oh, we love her.
Yeah.
She's so great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heatherkins. And
Yes.
Evan
Mhm.
Au Telemanas.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. They all just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and then
Super nice.
the chef showed up.
Oh yeah, Sam
Oh yeah,
came.
Sam came,
Sam,
and we learned.
newly christened as Howler name June. Poor guy.
Oh man.
Well deserved.
Well deserved.
But we all
don't
know from
how-
our gala.
Yeah,
that
if you
June
didn't
doesn't-
watch, go watch our
Yeah.
Pierce Q&A in which we asked where June was in the second series of the book, and Pierce told us that she's dead. Died in an iron rain, which we never asked
Womp womp.
which side she was on, and I feel like we need to know that. Was she
Yeah.
like, but
Maybe we'll find out.
yeah, but yeah, they all showed up at
Yeah.
Valkyrie. There was, it was just this, like, it was very funny. And I think that Tulsa lent itself really well to that we just took over.
Yeah.
And you would just wander around and find, like, oh, another howler, another, like, we just, it was great.
We're just howling in the streets.
Yeah, because
Finding other
I
people.
was having the discussion about people were complaining that it wasn't in a larger city and people wanted New York, LA, wherever. But it's like, if we had have been in, let's say, New York, you would have gotten the people who go, oh, well, I want to see Central Park. I want to see the Empire State Building. I want to see the Statue of Liberty. But being in Tulsa, you're like, I think a bunch of us were like, so Hanson's recording studio, which was like next to Cabin Boys, and that's it. Like, what else are you seeing in Tulsa? We were like, oh, but
We saw fireworks.
Fireworks.
Yeah,
That
we did.
was a fun.
Baseball game that included fireworks.
Yep.
There was a guy smoking different meats outside of
Yes.
Valkyrie too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep.
I don't think any of us ate any of them, which is kind of a
No.
shame.
Yeah.
No, I think
But
the ongoing
Carson and
theme of the
I-
week is lack of
I
food
did-
and a lot of alcohol. It
Yeah.
wasn't a great choice.
Did get barbecue in Kansas City on my way home.
Ooh.
Oh, but that's a good.
And
Yeah.
it was fucking incredible.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But
Also, like a heavy pour of very good whiskey.
nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, that night we just went back. We crashed
It was-
after Valkyrie.
Yeah, it was chill.
Mhm.
And then I was supposed to leave at 9 a.m. That was my plan. Get on the road at 9 a.m.
Oh.
And at 7 a.m.,
Holy
I
shit.
think the entire city
Oh.
woke up to the world's largest thunderclap. Like,
Yeah. Like literally, I woke up. And it was just like, it was one of those where I was like, okay, is that construction or is that thunder? And
Yeah.
then my phone vibrates and it's Hydro. And Hydro's like, are you awake?
well, because you have to
It's
remember,
like,
at this
yes.
point, Dram's gone. So Hydro's in her
Yeah.
room alone. We
Yeah.
are 2 doors over. And Hydro basically is terrified of storms and is like, can I come hang out with you guys?
She didn't even ask. I was like, Hydro, do you want to come snuggle?
Yeah.
She's like, yes. And immediately there's a knock on the door.
Yeah. Yeah, which then
was really-
you guys were set on donuts, Crescent.
Yeah.
You and Drillbit. That was the best. Is Drillbit wanted donuts. Go on.
Hang on. So before the rainstorm, we were sitting at Valkyrie the night before. I turned to Badger and I went, "Does this smell like it's about to rain?"
You smelled petra. You didn't tell me this.
didn't
You
even smell
smelled
that.
petrichor?
Yeah. And yeah, so I got to smell Victra's favorite scent.
Oh.
Thing up by
And
you.
what's that?
Is that not really a thing by you?
Petrichor?
No, it
Like-
absolutely is.
Yeah, it is,
Okay.
but I didn't
Okay, I was
hear
gonna
the
say.
story.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I didn't
it
either.
just- It doesn't happen to me very often that I'm outside and I
Oh.
can smell the rain coming.
I see.
And
Okay.
Badger and I had talked about how since I had COVID at the beginning
Oh.
of 2021, my smell has never been like my sense of smell has never been quite the same. But then I smelled the rain coming, so that was cool.
That was cool.
And then yeah, so Drillbit the next morning really wanted to get Hertz donuts.
Yeah.
And like I was all for it. But my plan was to walk from my hotel to meet them there because it was like a block and a half. And so I basically waited till the very last second to walk out of my hotel.
But you messaged
you were
us like
messaging
3
us.
times
Yeah.
being like, but what's your plan for Drillbit? Are you going to see Drillbit? Are you going to go for donuts? Are you going to see Drillbit? And you kept, and I just turned to Salem and I was like, he really wants donuts. So
Well,
we were
that,
like,
and then it
we're
was
not
like,
going. And you were like,
well, he couldn't see the storm outside either. And so
oh, that's
like
right.
Yeah, I
he's
was looking at a
just
parking
messaging
garage.
me. He's messaging me and he's like, but like how bad is it? And I'm like, I sent him a video and I was like, dude, it is so
Yeah.
like, the wind is so bad. And then he's like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. And then there's like thunder and lightning right after he sent that. And I was like, okay, you can go walk.
And so funny thing is, I walked outside and I'm like, is this what people near Seattle think is windy?
No, Bellingham's worse. There have been times like
Um,
when I was in college, like I legit like 60-mile-an-hour winds, and I'm like, okay, blowing you back.
Yeah, we
Seattle,
get 60
yes.
mile an hour winds on like the fair regular.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was like kind of sprinkling.
Yeah, but you were just
But,
so funny.
like,
You just
it
kept
was in a
messaging us
lull.
about it, and we were like,
Yeah.
"I'm not moving." Like the
just
2
go
of us were like,
outside.
"No." So then you brought us donuts. You were very
Yeah.
wonderful, and you
I
brought
was-
us donuts.
I walked in, I was like, okay, well I know I'm going to visit Salem and Hydro and Skipper. I may as well ask them if they want donuts. And I pulled up my phone to message you guys to ask, and Salem's like, you want to bring us donuts? JK. And I was like, funny thing, I was just about to ask.
Yeah. So then, yeah,
Yeah.
we had a last minute, just relaxing morning, hanging out, as we then
got to say goodbye to Drillbit and Light and the Minnesota Howlers, because that was who was all at Hertz. Also, what a fantastic name for a donuts place.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, and then
Always reminds me of How I Met Your Mother.
but yeah, and then I took off. So I drove to Indiana that day. But you guys had another adventure.
Yeah. So
We
yeah,
went to the post office.
Yeah, that was it. I
well,
sent you guys off to the post office, and then I see later that you found some real weird place.
yeah. So first of all, I took Hydro and dropped her off at the airport, and then we needed to mail off the international books.
I could not fit 3 books into my carry-on.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go send them. And so we go to the post office, and I'm like, so from Seattle, if you're not familiar, there's like a thing called the Seattle Freeze. And it's, you don't talk to other people that you don't know. That it's just the way it is. You go there and nobody wants to talk to each other. And I'm sitting there in this post office. Crescent's watching his bike out in the back of the bed of his truck. And I'm in this post office, like packaging all this stuff. And I'm sitting there like, oh, I probably look like such an asshole because I'm not talking to anybody. I like walked in between a couple people to go grab some tape off the wall. And I was like, I am such an asshole here. Because then I hear other people like, oh, let me get the door for you. And I'm like, oh, God. And then I get a text from Crescent. He's like, did they send you away with the Postal Service? Because I'm like still in there packaging everything. Finally, I get up there.
At least 15 minutes.
Because I had 3 boxes to put together.
Oh, yeah.
They were going international here.
Yeah. And so, and I had to fill out all the international forms and stuff. So took that a while, but then they didn't have mailing tubes. And so we're like, okay, well, let's go to UPS. UPS had mailing tubes, but they didn't have postcards.
Yes. So we needed postcards for our Patreon.
I was like, hey, can you give me a lead on postcards, please? Like touristy postcard.
Dude did not want to be at work that day.
And he was like, I have no idea. So we went and hopped back in the truck, and I just Googled postcards Tulsa. And I got this place. It was called Decopolis. And it's like museum, gift shop, and it's
you
like,
drive by to go
like,
find parking,
like,
and there's like dinosaurs outside.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and it's like a 5-minute drive from where we were.
Yeah.
Like it was so close to where we were.
Yeah.
And
we asked a lady to take our picture in front of the sign.
Yeah. There's these 2 ladies and a child outside, and I'm like, can you take our picture? And she was super nice. Took a few pictures of us. Got a really nice goofy one.
Yep.
And
then we went
inside, and it was
like you were transported
bizarre.
into like a kid's dream.
Oh.
Like I wish I'd gotten more footage of it. Like you go in there and like everything's painted really cool colors, but literally from floor to ceiling there is product that is all kids' toys, and it's put in such a manner that it looks magical.
Yeah, and like some of it is designed in a way that it looks like a cave.
Yeah.
And they've got this like gold panning setup.
Yeah. They had a whole Star Wars room.
They've got like this river running through where you can like sift for gold.
Yeah.
Is Oklahoma known for gold? I don't think
it's the oil there
were definitely pictures of oil rigs.
Some of the postcards I got say oil capital of the world on them. So maybe that's a lie. Maybe it's legit.
We're gonna have to look into that.
I don't know. I have
join the Patreon and let us know if you want the oil capital of the world postcard.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, if you're in the Patreon and you want the
oil capital of the world
from the oil capital of the world postcards, let us know.
We got a fat stack of postcards, by the way. Like,
I hear
we're broke again. we had a few dollars in
We've
the
never
bank, and I
not
hear
been
we're
broke.
now broke because of postcards.
Hey, I paid less than I should have.
We were
It's
literally
not
sitting
theft
in
if
the
you don't mean to do it.
we go like okay, so we like go through like the kids area, and then we come out and there's like this little museum section. I don't even know what it was. Like
Yeah, Art
it
Deco.
was Art Deco, but then there was like Roman statues in there almost of like somebody with a discus, and I was like, what are we even looking at? And then we go into this little itty bitty corner where there's a whole bunch of art, and we're just sitting there like gremlins, like picking up all these postcards.
Yeah, we were the postcard gremlins.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I don't know how the fuck we managed it. But I was pretty sure we counted out 50 and I ended up
I
with
thought so, too.
75.
Wow.
So
Wow.
whoops,
You're not getting let
sorry,
back into the US.
Sorry,
Nope.
Tulsa, Oklahoma, Decapolis cashier.
Oh,
He
I
was
told you there
so
50,
done
there
though.
was not.
Literally, you brought up this
It was-
stack,
and-
and he's just like, "How many are there?"
Yeah, I don't even think he asked. I was like,
No.
there should be 50. Like, I'm sorry.
wow. Crescent's now going to be banned from the United States. Next time he goes
Just
to
Tulsa.
the... Yeah,
Just
next
Tulsa,
time
that's
he goes
fine.
to the border security, that's only 9 to 5. He will not be left in because he stole postcards.
I'll just mail them all back.
That's
So
the
that
most
works.
Canadian thing ever.
Yeah, and just write sorry on every one of them.
Apollo Legion.
Yeah.
Mm,
And then we got
Yeah.
pizza.
Yeah, and then we went to a different Empire location because
Which
apparently
that was
there's two.
so good.
Yeah.
I feel like I missed out on this Empire pizza. I didn't get any.
You did.
It
You
was
did.
so good.
Really, really fucking good.
And they had pink sauce. I still don't know what was in it,
yeah,
but it was really good.
Yeah. Volley, shoot us a message because I know you knew what was in it. I wasn't gonna get any, and Volley was sitting right next to me, and he was like, "Everybody at this table is getting pink sauce," and he was right. He was right. That was the right choice.
Interesting.
Shoot us a message letting us know what was in it. It was like sour cream and dill and sriracha, and it was wild.
Weirdest
It was
mix, but it was so
fantastic,
good.
That's awesome.
though. Yeah, and then I took and dropped Salem off at the airport, and
You drove
I
home?
went to Arkansas.
Yeah.
And I almost missed my connecting flight.
Ooh.
Good.
I literally
Good.
sprinted to the terminal at... Okay, can we also talk about how big Dallas-Fort Worth Airport is?
Oh, it's
Like,
huge.
you
I've had
can.
one
It's
layover there, and
huge.
You
it's
can. I've never been there.
huge.
I
It's
just...
It's
You
terrifying.
have to take
Yeah.
you have to take a SkyTrain to go from terminal to terminal. Like,
Oh, wow.
it was like, and so when I first went through it, I didn't see it because it was pitch black out because it was 9:00 at night. And then this time, literally watching it, I was like, oh my god, I'm like a mile away from where I was. It's a giant airport. I don't get
It's
it.
huge.
But yeah, I had to literally sprint down the escalator and then sprint across to go find my gate.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a huge airport. But
So
yeah.
don't allow only an hour between your flights.
But yeah, you flew back.
be
We
fast.
drove back. I stopped at Drams. I got to meet Grapes. So if you're in the Patreon, you can see my interview with Grapes.
Yeah, you got to shoot guns too. Was that your first time ever?
That was my first time shooting a gun. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it bruised my shoulder. I went wakeboarding for the first time.
For the first
I
time,
went I went wakeboarding for the first time. That was a lot of fun. And Dram had a lot of anxiety over like boat things because she's like, "Oh my god, you're on the boat," and I was like, "I don't know how a motorboat works. Like, I don't know what's happening right now." She's an excellent. Her and her husband are excellent drivers of boats. I will say. Yeah, it's like a summer camp being at Dram's house. I will say.
Yeah,
there's just everything.
Can't wait
They
for
were gonna.
at Graham's place.
Yeah, they had a blow up. We were gonna do a blow up, like it's like a bouncy castle, but like a slide with a pool, like, and then take pictures of me and the floaties again because the floaties did get leave. Oh my god, where am I at now? With Dram's kids, they deserve the unicorn and shark floaties far more than I do.
Yep.
But yeah, it was like summer camping at Dram's house. She's like, you want to be on the dirt bikes? You want to do this? Like there was too many options. But a lot of fun. But yeah, so
Yeah.
that's
Crescent only crashed his mountain bike one time.
Oh,
Didn't
Proud of
break
you.
anything this
oh,
time.
good.
Yeah.
I feel like we would have heard about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am bruised from shoulder to hip though.
Oh.
Oh.
That's how it goes.
Did you have fun at least?
Oh yeah, fuck yeah, it was great.
Yeah, that's what counts.
But yeah, that
Middle
is
Arkansas. Anybody who mountain bikes, hit it up.
that's HowlerCon.
That's a HowlerCon recap.
It was a wild weekend.
Oh my god, it was
Weekend.
insane.
But
yeah, we
it
kept
was,
saying
like,
weekend. It was the middle of the
nonstop.
week.
Yeah, it was
Um,
absolutely nonstop. I
Spring
don't know.
break. Spring break
Yeah.
is the
There
best
was no
comparison to it. There was no
It was
no. You
to
just
the point where,
kept
like,
going.
I didn't check my phone. Like, I could not
Yeah.
check my phone besides to
Yeah.
take pictures and videos.
Yeah,
Which I
we
mean was a good time, but
yeah we left
I-
the den unattended. Pop Top, kudos to Pop Top,
Yeah.
was the only
Yeah.
moderator left
Every
behind.
single moderator was gone except Pop Top and Noodle.
I think we need to give out a shout out to Sprout, who was doing the welcome messages. Like a
Yeah.
lot of people in the
Yeah,
den
and Flood.
stepped. Twist was great. Yeah, and we just kudos to the den for
Yeah. Thank you
for
for
holding it
everybody who
down.
kept us on track.
because we just
Um,
we were 21 again is what happened.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or
And it
19
was just
again, depending on who you are.
yeah, depending on who you are. 19 for us, 21 for US, or as me and Ransom call you, what the fuck is it, kilometers? Yeah, it was just such a good time. And we do keep saying that Tulsa was too hot, but I think Tulsa was a good city because we took over. And we keep
it
gunning
was-
for Minneapolis because I think we could also just take over Minneapolis
I think
and it would be
also
Yeah,
a
they're very
lot
similar
not as
Yeah.
hot.
sizes.
But I'm hoping, like, I know we'll probably get one when Red God comes out. But by the way, Pierce was
Yeah.
talking in Toronto, Pierce said to expect spring of 2025 for Red God. That his
Which
guess,
is a totally reasonable release.
yeah,
time.
he
Yeah.
guesses that they are going to announce it as Christmas of 2024 and it will be pushed back, is what he told Toronto. But I am hoping that we have something in 2024,
Yeah.
just for us, just
I've-
to chill.
Yeah, I've already heard rumblings that Lit Escalates is planning the next HowlerCon already.
That's cool.
Ooh.
I think they saw because it was such a good turnout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we would
Yeah,
in
and
the
people
middle
coming
of
from everywhere.
yeah, and
Um,
we would do that
it was-
even whether or not a new book is out. Like that was
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
I don't
Lightbringer was a
give
good
fuck if there's-
bonus, but I
give a
don't
fuck
think
if there's a
Lightbringer was
book, there is friends.
yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Like, even if it's just
And, like-
the same kind of thing where you just all get together in one building and it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just
I don't
amazing.
care if there's a new release. I will go.
Yeah.
I said Salem and I we left the strangest gift shop and we were driving to the airport and I turned to Salem and I went, this past few days just kind of feel like a fever dream for you.
Yeah,
And she goes, yep.
pretty
It
much.
crazy.
It was literal insanity.
Yeah.
But in the best possible way.
Yeah. Yeah, it is just so amazing. And I think that, Salem, kudos to you for making the den what it is. Like that
Yeah.
was amazing. I probably would have gone if I wasn't in the den, but I would have been with like 2 or 3 people hanging out, probably made friends, but not the energy we brought. So huge kudos to you for the community you
Yeah.
have created in there.
I honestly, if the den didn't exist, I probably wouldn't have gone.
No. I mean,
there's a very, very real
Yeah.
possibility I would
Yeah.
have.
Yeah, I think even Crescent said, like, you've never really been to a book signing or much of any of that.
Yeah,
or
And-
before Red Rising, I had never been part of a fandom,
Right.
But-
involved in a fandom.
This was your first signed book, correct?
This was no
Oh, I gave you a book that
Sleeping
signed
Giants by Sylvain Nouvelle was
by
my
6
first
hours
signed
prior.
book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, on Wednesday night I gave you that one, but
yeah,
this is the first
that was
one you
my
met an
first
author and
live
got signed.
signed
Yeah,
book. Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
just
I feel like with the den, I do think that we have a lot of really good people in it. And I think that really helped make the experience like as memorable as it was. Like you could have a group of people that, don't get up and dance and not have as fun of a time. So
yeah.
I want to give kudos out to everybody that went and everybody that was it was just so fun to see everybody click just
Oh
instantaneously.
my god, the connections are
And
amazing.
yeah, so I think being able to see everybody actually together and actually enjoy themselves and make friends. Like I think that was probably just as somebody that created the den and then just seeing everything that happened. Like there's so many friendships that would not have happened if this had not been a
Oh,
thing.
for sure.
So,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, like the night was amazing. Everything was so great. Kudos to Joel and Christine for throwing this all together. Kudos to
Yes. Oh my
Pierce for
God.
building this world. But it was it's the connections we made that weekend that I think really nailed
Yeah.
that down of what made it so special and not just another signing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
Like HowlerCon, like the event HowlerCon was amazing, but the larger like den
yeah.
presence, like
network
getting ready together and like
HowlerCon
all those things.
was
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
the hair braiding party.
beyond anything.
What other
Uh
book signing
I
are you going to go to that's going to cram 20 people into a room for a hair braiding party?
yeah.
Like,
Like
Yeah.
I said it on my story. I don't remember if I said it on the Fade story, but like I will never be the same.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
and I wouldn't want to be.
no,
Like
Yeah.
yeah, so much good.
my
So much good.
I've said it to a few people. My emotions are just like all over the fucking map since I got home. I cried like 3 or 4 times at Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I was listening to the beginning of Morning Star with my apprentice, and I was wearing sunglasses and like just about crying behind my
Oh, for
sunglasses.
sure.
Like
So
you guys have gotten inside the pulse armor,
I,
and yeah.
I listened to Lightbringer the whole way down. And that was my
Mhm.
okay, I'm gonna listen to Lightbringer. I should have technically finished it, but just how traffic and whatever else worked. I was 2 hours off. And so I was like, well, I'll just listen to it on the way home. And I am not
Oh
emotionally like even right now. I was like, I can't. Like I was too not destroyed. I was too emotional of HowlerCon and how that all went, and then leaving HowlerCon and leaving those people and leaving those connections that I was like, I can't finish Lightbringer again. I'm just like paused in the
yeah,
middle as if Lightbringer's never going to end because I don't want to finish it for a second time. I've already read it once without Red God there or without, and it's like I feel like if we have plans of like, oh, we're going to meet up, then I will fit like, but I'm like
yeah.
holding on to the end of
I
Lightbringer again of like I will
Yeah.
not release this.
I I listened to a very little bit of it. It was the end of chapter 84 when uh, when I left Tulsa, and I was
Yeah.
so tired. Like I couldn't listen to more of it. I was falling asleep. Um,
Safe
I
driving.
listened to music, and then when I left Kansas City the next day, uh, I listened to chapter 85 through the end, and I was just fucking leaking.
Yeah. Yeah, it's these books now have so
They have a
much.
whole
Oh
new
yeah, like
meaning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. Um, I don't know if either of you have watched any of Critical Role, The
No.
Legend of Vox Machina. I have. So Critical Role, the first campaign is 115 episodes of between 3 and 6 hours each, and I've watched all of them. There's a lot of emotion tied up in it, and now when I watch The Legend of Vox Machina, which is their like really condensed cartoon version of the first campaign. It's like the littlest things I'm like on the edge of tears or like crying at the smallest things, and I feel like that's just going to be Red Rising for me now.
Yeah.
Is that. So thank you everybody for that.
Yeah.
In the most genuine way.
Yeah.
Like
Thank you for making it so special. Like these books are one thing and they're very beautifully done and we've all connected over them. And I think that's what makes them even more special is that
yep,
now we have made friends out of all of these.
For sure.
exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, like books are real enough, but
Yeah.
the friendships
Oh
that
yeah.
we've made outside of them are a whole
Oh
nother level.
yeah.
Oh
For
yeah.
sure. Yeah. I think that's it. I don't
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
anything else. I think we're gonna end it on that.
Yeah.
Thank you everyone for listening. Thank you everyone who is in Tulsa. And for giving us the time of our lives. Thank you for everyone in the den who held down the fort while we weren't there. And if you haven't joined the den, please do, because obviously it has made a huge impact on all our lives, and we want you involved in that too. To the 100 people who joined the den since
Last
HowlerCon,
week,
like,
yeah.
Yeah.
welcome to the insanity. We
Yeah.
promise
Yeah,
that you
good
will
luck.
start to get how comms works. It's a shit show sometimes. There is some
Yeah.
things. But yeah, thank you everybody for listening.
Thank you for hanging out.
Thanks, guys.